Hey everybody, welcome to my big news today. I am so excited to share all these things with you. But first I want to start off by saying thank you to my Patreons who have joined and supported me. I am just beyond grateful for each and every one of you, and I'm super excited to see just those who will join us in the future as well. So today I have a couple of different things that I'm announcing to, first of all, my Patreon only people, and then this will go live on my YouTube channel. I've been away for a long time. Anyways, today we are going to talk about two big things that are happening. I cannot wait to share these with you. So let's begin. All right, first off, let's take a thought back maybe 2 or 3 years. Maybe it was more than that. No, 3 years. To 2020, when everything was depressing and sad and everyone was inside all the time and Emily got bored. My dear friend Kristen reached out to me and had this great idea, which happens quite often. She has some amazing ideas. And what she suggested was that we write a book on our blogs for a month. And I thought, I could probably do that. I've done NaNoWriMo before. I'm sure I could get something out there and it wouldn't be a problem. It was very hard, but I spent a lot of time plotting it out. So I knew, 30 days, this many chapters, what is my arc going to be, what are these characters going to look like, etc. And I jumped in, and Suspended in the Stars was born. Many of you followed me along this whole journey. I would post a chapter every day, and then I started adding it to Wattpad as well, and I just got overwhelming responses from people. They were just curious to know what was going to happen next. They really loved the characters. They had a ton of fun with it. Even people who didn't really like science fiction were reading it, which made me really happy because I believe that everyone can enjoy science fiction. So yeah, I just really fell in love with Suspended in the Stars, and when the month was over and the book was done, I realized it wasn't done. I had quite a bit left actually in the first book's story. I decided to kind of go back to the drawing board. I went out, I took walks, that's how I plot, and I started to think through what could I do to finish out this story and where does it really end. I saw a certain thing and I wasn't sure if I could get there, so basically what I finished on my blog I saw as a bit of the halfway point. So yes, it was a very, very long book. I should say a very long first draft. And I went through, I finished it, and then I edited it, and then I went back and I edited it again, and I sent it off to some friends to read, and then I kind of let it sit for a while, and then I sent it to my agent. So she really represents me in the adult sphere. That's more of kind of how I signed on with her, but she's amazing and she decided to stick with me through this odd transition into young adult. And so as she kind of looked through it, went through my proposal and everything, which includes a lot of fun different things, which we could talk about maybe in a future video, but we got to the point where we were happy with it, and so we sent it out. Being on submission is an interesting thing. It's a lot of fun, but it's also really nerve-wracking because you never know, okay, in like 4 months, will I hear back from someone? In 6 months, will I know for sure whether or not they're a yes or a no to it? When I told my husband that it would be at least 6 months before I really knew anything, he didn't believe me. He said, no industry works like that. And I said, the publishing industry does, because it does. It's very slow moving and there's a very high content of volume being sent to editors. So you just have to wait and see what happens. So we waited and we got some great responses back. They were all no's, but they were very kind no's. I got a lot of, this is really inventive, but it's just not the project for me. Or something along the lines of, we can't really publish this well. I completely understand. Sci-fi is a very hard niche to get into, so I took it with what it was. And by the end of about those 6 months, I kind of realized, okay, this is not gaining any traction in the general market. What do I want to do with this? And that's a hard question when an author finishes a book and they've polished it to the best of their abilities. This is without including any kind of extra or external editing. What do you do with it? Especially if it's a project that you're really passionate about. Where does it go? Do you just let it sit on your computer when you know that there are readers out there for the book? I did. I just let it sit there for a while. Plus, I think in between this time is when I got my contract with Sunrise Publishing for my romantic suspense adult book. And so I thought, okay, I'll just like pour my focus into that and then maybe revisit this YA stuff in a bit when I know what I want to do. Along those lines, there were a few other things that came up that were more of like, oh, what about this thing or what about that thing with regards to YA. So I got a little distracted, which I think in the future will be a good thing because there's things percolating. But when I did finally have more of the mental space to come back to this story, I knew what I wanted to do with it, and that was I wanted it to be published. So here comes the news, a roundabout way to get there, but I am going to be putting out Suspended in the Stars this year. And I have already had it edited professionally by the most amazing editor. Her name is Bethany, and she is just excellent. She's got such a great eye to really just delve in and make the story better. I am currently in the midst of working through edits for another book that's contracted, so I will hop into her edits as soon as those edits are done. Yes, I am swimming in work this year, but I'm already well on the way to having it completed and ready to get into your guys' hands. But there's still a few hurdles to get through. And this is the second part of the news that I haven't really shared with anybody else. I will be doing this on Kickstarter. And I'm so excited because I've really become a huge fan of what Kickstarter allows an author to do. Kickstarter is great because it allows an author to fund their project to make it even more than what I could have done on my own. So yes, I have currently already paid for my editing, but I would like to make a little bit of that back in addition to some fun new things. And the hard part is I don't have visuals for you yet because I still need to work on my covers. You've seen probably, or maybe back in the day, you saw an old version of the Suspended in the Stars cover. I'm using that for promotional purposes, very minimally, just because it's not going to be the final cover. I'm going to completely redo it. I'm really excited to create something that's it's going to be fit well, hopefully, for that genre. So in addition to just having the book out in ebook form and paperback, I'm also going to do some fun things like a hardcover edition. I am going to be talking with some local-ish to me, they're about an hour away, printers, to see if I can't get some really juicy and beautiful hardcovers printed with imprints on the front. Those are going to be a limited edition. There's going to be probably a regular hardback that you can order that I will set up. There's going to be all the things, and I just love like fun editions. So yes, there's going to be character art. There's going to hopefully in the future be an audiobook, but friends, they are so expensive. So I'm trying to decide how I want to go about that. It's going to be rather a challenge, I think, to get an audiobook done, but that is something that I really am passionate about because I love audio. So that's in the works as well, on the back burner. With that Kickstarter, I am shooting to have it live in March. There is going to be Quill and Flame publishers. They're going to be doing a bash, like a bookish bash is what they call it. And I'm going to have some pretty fun giveaway stuff that's going to go along with that bash. And I'm going to use that as kind of like my catalyst, my announcement to get the Kickstarter out there. I will admit I am a little nervous. Not about the Kickstarter itself because I really love that platform, but about the fact of like you can put this out there and, you know, have your baseline funding and you cannot meet that funding. Now, I'll probably publish the book no matter what. I'm very passionate about getting it out there, but that means no limited edition hardcovers, nothing super fun, no additional swag, no additional character cards, things like that. It would just be the book releasing like normal, which I'd probably have to do later in the year. But with a Kickstarter, if it funds, I will be able to release ebooks early. I'm going to have, you know, the ability to do swag and things like that. I will need your guys' help to spread the word because I think that that's going to be the biggest thing that helps me. I can only shout so loud with one voice and one channel and one me, but with everybody else's help, I think we could really make a big splash. So, as I like to say, let's be friends and let's talk about books. Pre-stage. So hard to say. keep saying fucking sing. No. I think that I will. Hi everybody. Just me and my cat.